Today we're going to learn how to play the B7. Now the B7 is a pretty cool chord because it requires all four fingers, and this is the first time that we're learning a chord that we have to use all four of our fingers to play the chord. But don't be alarmed because it's actually going to be pretty easy based upon the foundation we've built. Review. We know the E, we know the E7, right? We've learned an additional E7 with the little pinky here on the fourth finger, right? Pinky on the third fret, playing that D, second string, third fret. And then we know the A, we know the A7, we know a more bells and whistle type A7, right? By using the seventh down here on the first string. So now we're going to learn the B7, which becomes the 5 of the E series, E, A, B7. And when you talk about the E, A, B7, you are talking a lot of times about Delta blues. So by learning this E, A, B7, we're going to be playing around a lot with the beginnings of Delta blues. Okay, so anyways, from the E, right, you've got the second finger as your foundation on that fifth string, second fret, playing the note B, right, which figures well into this B7. So we're going to take that and keep that second finger there. Then we're going to skip over the next string, go to the third string, and put our third finger on the third string in the second fret. And then we're going to take our pinky and put our pinky on the first string in the second fret. So we've got one of this little every other string deal going here. Okay? To finish this off, we take the first finger and we make a little triangle with the 2 and the 3. Very similar, in fact, exactly like we did on the D7 a couple of weeks ago. But now we're moving that triangle up to the 5, 4, and 3 strings. And again with the little pinky on the first string. And that is your B7. Okay? Now when you play B7, you don't really play the bottom string, the E. It doesn't really figure into the B7. So you play a B7 mostly with the 5 strings. Okay? But notice going from the E to the B7 is not too hard to do because you're basically using that second finger as your foundation, doesn't move, and then the 2 and the 1 and the 3 kind of swap strings, right? So here we are on the E, here we are on the B7. So we practice that. E, 2, 3, 4, we make the switch to B7. Okay, getting that little finger down the bottom, but also noticing that even if you don't get that little finger down in time, you're still going to get a B7 quality. That E doesn't really figure into it because, of course, it's 4 from the B, right? That's actually a B11 because you're getting the E, which is 4 up from the B. But you will want to get that first finger down. But if you don't get it down immediately, you can see how it still sounds kind of nice, right? But anyways, B, E, B7, E, doing a 4 strum, 3, 4, keeping it nice and steady, 2, 3, 4. I would really concentrate on getting that triangle in place and then laying down the little finger last, right? So it's like this, and then you can almost wait like a slight second to get that little finger down if it takes you a little while to do it. Now, going from the A, which is the 4 in the EAB 145, right? Going from the A, what you're doing here is you're doing like a jumping jack, right? Because in the A chord, that third finger, which actually is playing an A, you're going to jump with the second finger going up 1 string and the fourth finger coming down 1 string. So it's almost like doing a jumping jack here with the 2 and the 3, jump, 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 right? And then of course you do have to get that 1 down for the B7. So again, you can do a 1, 2, 3, 4 on the A, and then go B7, 2, 3, 4, and then back to the A, and then the B7, okay? If you're going A7 to B7, well, then that's going to be a 2 and a 3 foundation thing, right? Because they're going to keep the same form, but now they're skipping from the 2 and the 4 string on the A7 to the 3 and the 5 string on the B7, with of course putting the 1 down for the triangle. So A7, B7. Not so hard to make that move, right? Again, the 2 and the 3 are your foundation, and they are just going up and down, but the distance between them stays the same. So what can we do with this? E, A, B7. Well, of course, as usual, many songs. But here's one that comes to mind. And with a simple strum, simple 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, I hear the train a-comin', it's coming round the bend. All E. Under the sunshine, since I don't know when. Okay, now we're going to go to the A7. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison. Time keeps rolling on. Back to the E, okay? And then we're going to do our new chord, the B7. But I hear those whistles blowing on down to San Antonio. Okay, and of course, as you get that down, you speed it up a little bit. You can always do that. Boom, check. I hear the train a-comin', it's coming round the bend. Ain't seen no sunshine. You can go to E7 there, and then to the A7, right? 1, 2, 3, and E7. Then the B7. Okay, so there's something you can play with that E, A, and B7. You can experiment with A, A7. They're almost interchangeable in that song. The 7th chords, because it is a blues, really. It's a 12-bar blues. And the 7ths can be almost interchangeable with the major triad chords. Okay? Another song you can do is a song that's often taught with the D, G, A, right? The key of D. But actually is a lot of fun to play in the key of E. In fact, I've seen some video of John Fogerty playing this song in E while the rest of the band's in D. Must have had the guitar tuned down a step, right? But it is a lot of fun to play Bad Moon Horizon in the key of E. I see a bad moon horizon, I see troubles on the rain. Okay, that kind of thing's a lot of fun in the key of E, and it's all E, A, B7, right? When you get to the next section, there's a bad moon horizon. So there's another song you can do with a little strum, and there's a lot of things you can do with this key. Good old key of E with the B7.